Welcome to Option Trades Today. I'm Tony the Bat Batista, and I have a trade idea for you today. January 23rd, 2024. Let's see what's going on in the market first. Even the S&Ps hanging in there, down $4.75, just off of all-time highs. NASDAQ down 18, doing the same. The Russell, which has been the strongest of the group the last couple of days, giving it up a little bit, ever so slightly, $10 on a percentage basis. You can see that they're a little bit weaker than the E-mini S&Ps and the NASDAQ. And the Dow keeping track with the Russell, down 180. The peculiar thing to me, volatility down 28 cents, even with the market lower at all-time highs. Man, making it hard for a bear in this market. Keep an eye on volatility. If you get a little bit of weakness in the market today and you see volatility turn green, well, maybe you should take a chance and take a little bit off the table, or limit some of the risk that you have in the overall market. Bonds down 31 also. I'm going to go here to my high option volume list. Just to save a little bit of time here, I've put the earnings in order here. These are all the stocks without earnings. You know I like to go to the IVX 5-day change and see those stocks that have a volatility expanding over the last 5 days. KWeb doesn't have good markets in it. The markets are too wide between the bid and the ask. I go down to DWAC. Well, KWeb's not bad, to be quite honest with you. Let's take a quick look at it if you want to before I misspeak here. Markets are actually relatively tight. I was getting it confused with DWAC just a moment ago. KWeb would be something that I might look to trade. That's the China ETF if you want to trade that. I did not trade that today. First uptick it's had in quite some time. It's not something that I normally go to. DWAC was what I was really talking about a moment ago. You can see here that the IV rank is quite high. When we take a look at the markets in DWAC in March, you'll see that they're untradeable. $6.35, $7.60, $9, $10. That's an untradeable market for me as an option trader. We'll go down a little further in the list. You'll see MSOS, a cannabis ETF. It's under $10. Doesn't do anything for me. I already have a position in USO. It's working out pretty good for us. And the next one would be Asher, $22 stock, also another China. So China's the only one that has implied volatility rising here so far. You go a little bit further, there's nothing else there. So it leads me to the trade that I came with, a post-earnings trade in UAL. You'll notice that the IV rank is down 7.5%, but the IV rank at 24, relatively high for post-earnings trades. Typically, this gets well into the teens, but I am going to make a trade today that uses very little buying power. You'll notice the last couple of trades that I've been making on my podcast are ones that use a lot less buying power. Coin was the last one I did where we were up a little bit, down a little bit. We're about even on there, but it only used a couple $100 in buying power. I'm going to do the same thing in UAL today because I'm a little bit skittish with the overall market and volatility. Volatility / VX being too low to be aggressive in selling premium. I still need to look for trades, so I'm going to go to a post-earnings trade in UAL. I'm trying to do a classic iron condor here, $5 wide. Let's see the strikes that I can come up with. I'm going to look at selling the 38 put. That's right around the 20-25 delta. If I was doing a strangle, I might go a little bit further out to the 20 delta. If I was doing it naked, I'm going to go a little bit closer. I'm going to go to the 38 put, sell those. I'm going to buy the 33 put. That's going to use some of my buying power. I'm collecting around 73 cents on that put spread, $5 wide. Standalone trade. It's a little bit low in credit received. We like to collect 1/3 the width of the strikes, closer to $1.60, which means I'm going to have to do an iron condor to get up to or close to that number. Yes, a third is 166. I said 160. We're just trying to round. 45 days is closest to that I like to put on a trade with. 52 days, March are the options that I'm going to be using. And on the call side, I'm going to go to around the same delta. It's a little bit higher, 44. go up to the 49. I was able to sell this at $1.56. I'm sure you, oh, there you go. It's $1.56 mid-price right now. I'm sure you will too. It's very, very active. Let's take a look at the open interest in here. You can see that there's thousands on each line on both sides. And let's take a look at the volume today. Volume today in UAL is quite good also. So plenty to trade in here. Tight liquid markets. Post earnings, so you don't have to worry about any type of earnings trades. It uses a limited amount of capital, $344. I got filled right at mid price, $1.56. That would be your max profit. It's completely delta neutral. Let's just call it 2. It's a great return on capital, $156 to $344 in risk. I hate looking at return on capital because it's really dollars that you make, not the return on capital, at least for me when I'm looking to trade in that 45-day time frame. If this works out well, we'll be looking to take it off within about 2 to 3 weeks. It does have a 57% pop. Good, not great. A little bit lower than what I like. I like to be in the 60 to 65 range, but I'm using significantly less buying power than I normally do. Normally, I'd be using $3,000 to $5,000 in buying power. I'm only using $344 in buying power. You certainly could make this into a strangle if you wanted to. Obviously, you're going to collect a little bit more credit, and the buying power effect is actually quite good at $512. So you might be asking yourself, why did I do an iron condor instead of a strangle in here? It really is just to use a little bit less buying power, which is really not a good reason when it's only a couple $100 in between. Which strikes do I have? 45, 44, 49, 38, 33, sorry. When it's only a couple of dollars in between each one. What I wanted to show and highlight is how at least we're looking to take less risk when volatility is not as fruitful as you would like, meaning not as high as what you would like. There's always a way to take less risk, use less buying power, define your risk. Obviously, in an IRA account, this would take significantly more buying power, closer to that $3,000 number that I was talking about. Here's a way where you can use less buying power in this trade. A classic iron condor, trying to collect around 1/3 the width of the strikes, $1.66. I was able to collect $1.56. If you go right here and go down to the follow page, you go down to the, I'm so sorry, it's a little tricky with all the screens here. You go down to the follow page, click on the follow page, click I agree. All you're agreeing is that there's no liability here to everything that you're looking at. You go to Bob the Trader. You'll notice, you'll see my UAL trade that I made earlier this morning right after the show at 10:06. I put it on when the stock was $40.80. The stock is now 41. I put it on when the IV rank was 26. The IV rank is 24, which you would expect to see this go into the teens. My pop was around 57%, and my credit that I received was $1.56. You'll notice here that it says Classic $5 wide iron condor. I am going to add in the comments that it's post earnings. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoy my podcast, and hopefully we'll get some volatility that will expand here shortly. We'll be able to put on a lot more exciting trades. But in the meantime, transfer, move, bring your account to Tasty Trade. Help us keep the lights on here. Take advantage of some of the great, not only the great commission structure that we have, not only the great customer service that we have. You can always reach me. I am Bat at tastylive.com. You want to talk to the grand poobah himself, you can email Tom at tastylive.com. Not only our commission schedule, our customer support, but also the great benefits that we give you of our free show on Tasty Live. So please, move, transfer your account to Tasty Trade. They're going to give you some perks for bringing it over there in the form of cash.